Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence.
Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another edition of the Veritas Road. John, we're already echoing. Well, Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road, except today's Thursday because we weren't able to record Tuesday. So here we are, folks. Thanks for listening. We're going to start this week off on hopefully a less serious note. I've been spending the past month trying to figure out who in the world Trump hired to be his attorney general. She reminds me of something, someone, and I couldn't figure it out until I finally went back and watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory again after a little while. And, John, if you could pull up the Google Doc, the new Google Doc I created. What is going on over there? We good? Okay. The new Google Doc I created, John. I finally figured out exactly what was bothering me. Pam Bondi is, in fact, an Oompa Loompa. You hear about lizard people. You hear about demons controlling people in the media. Our administration has, in fact, hired an actual Oompa Loompa to be your attorney general. You heard it here first, folks. What do you get when you take away speech? Pam Bondi. And to that end, we talked about this a little bit last week, I believe. Pam Bondi has come out saying that she's going to start prosecuting hate speech, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think we've got an article on this somewhere. And I mean, this particular story has gone through a series of... We getting that story, John?
Sorry. You didn't say you didn't tell me you were picking one up.
Well, this particular story has developed a little bit, I think, since I put it in here. But, so Pam Bondi has said she and the Trump administration are going to start going after people who are critical of the government because hate speech is not protected by the First Amendment. And she has since, which is ironic, recanted that statement, saying, oh, no, we're just going to prosecute speech that incites violence. And this is where, coming from the perspective I do, I start to have a couple of issues, because who gets to decide what counts as inciting violence? If I say, hey, I don't like this thing that Trump did, are they going to decide me saying that means I want him to jump off a cliff? And if the government's in charge of deciding that, I mean, where does that end? This is the problem with government regulating any type of speech, any type of communication, be it online, be it in person, wherever it happens to be. That's a big problem, because we have no idea who's going to decide what counts as hate speech, what counts as nice speech, what counts as gay speech, what counts as whatever kind of speech. We don't know. Some asshole in a fucking courtroom in a wig gets to decide that, and they're probably going to decide the thing that gets them the most money from AIPAC or whoever's giving them cash. And so we see how this is a problem, right? But she since recanted that statement and said, hey, just speech that incites violence. Just speech that makes you want to murder somebody. And again, who gets to decide that, Pam? Can you really be serious in a courtroom if your name's Pam? I don't feel like anybody's... You should change your name also. But yeah, that's close to all I have to say about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about in reference to this, though, is how ironic is it she comes out screaming about hate speech. Right, what was that, 3-4 weeks ago that she started talking about that? Is that about right? Yeah, yours is a long time. I meant weeks. Huh? 9 days ago? All right, whatever. So, 8 or 9 days ago, she starts speaking out against hate speech, freaking everybody out, thinking this is going to be, just like Europe, and they're going to start arresting 16-year-olds from listening to the wrong TikTok, right? And then lo and behold, all this Jimmy Kimmel stuff starts happening. Go ahead and pull that article up, John. So as everybody is just well aware now, Jimmy Kimmel was he suspended? Was he fired? I don't know if anybody's sure. He was taken off the Late Show or whatever the hell it was he was on for talking about Charlie Kirk, which I listened to it. I don't know if you listened to it, John, but I believe he does at the beginning of the speech say like, "Hey, this is tragic." Like, nothing against him. And then he goes on to make fun of the whole situation, which is a little fucked, right? Because, like, it's very sad, obviously. And then he was fine. I've heard two perspectives on this, right? There's the idea that, like, speech should not be regulated. Granted, this is on, like, a massive network. He's a big name, but he's just out there doing comedy. He has a right to do comedy as a person. He shouldn't, face repercussions as a result of simply expressing himself. And, I mean, there's been talk about, like, the Trump administration having something to do with this and all that good stuff. But there is the side of the line of thinking that says, hey, he's just out there saying what he believes, and he should be allowed to do that. Now, the perspective that hadn't occurred to me until I was listening to another podcast early this morning was this idea that Jimmy Kimmel and whatever the hell network this is on, what is this, NBC, ABC, effectively has acted as a propaganda arm for the government, for the CIA, for a long, long time. Does the government have a right to come out and say whatever the hell they want about a private citizen? Absolutely not. And so in that light, him facing these kinds of repercussions from the FCC, who granted shouldn't be involved in anything, right? They're basically acting like gangsters saying, hey, bro, don't you do this. We're gonna fuck you up if you do this, right? It's like the freaking mafia, okay? But if he's acting as an arm of the government, essentially, because what are the big networks, right, but a propaganda arm, okay? Then does he, in fact, have a right to say whatever the hell he wants? Does he have a right, does whatever fake pseudo-government, pseudo-private entity have a right to say, hey, you can't say that, please get the hell off the air? I see both sides of that story. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that, John? You look pregnant with a comment.
Okay. I don't know. It's like, in my opinion, it's like he's acting as the propaganda arm of the government with this story.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what that is. It's just massive propaganda to kind of have the narrative the way they want it. Right? Jimmy Kimmel is a propaganda scumbag. It's like, watch any of his content during 2020, watch any of like Stephen Colbert's content or Jimmy Fallon's content during 2020, and that'll be all you need to know about the character of these people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really get like too hung up in the whole like principle of like, oh, is this the government censoring free speech? Because it's like, these are all Mockingbird agents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, keep the conversation in that. Like, these are all Mockingbird agents. This is all, designed to deceive you and keep you away from actually paying attention to what's actually going on. So, I don't know. I don't get too caught up into the whole, like, principle bullshit that they're trying to force this into.
Yeah, and it's super ridiculous to get that upset about somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, who has, like you said, obviously been acting as a propaganda, I don't know what to call him, propaganda agent, propaganda outlet for whatever nonsense the government is trying to push on you for, excuse me, that was terrible. My apologies. However long he has. And so I think the more and more, like, I think about it and listen to it, like, it does seem crazy that people are getting so up in arms about Jimmy Kimmel of all people. Now, if it had been Joe Blow on the street who got, like, fired from his job for saying something, that would be a different story. Like, got fired from the job at the factory, that'd be a different story. But, Jimmy, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Some guy who was running a failing show because nobody watches late-night TV gets a slap on the wrist and everybody's getting up in arms about free speech. What a joke.
Yeah, and just like part of the class of comedians that sold out
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
That's what Jimmy
Yeah.
Kimmel, Colbert, Fallon, that fat British fucker, James Corden.
James Corden. Yeah,
That's what they are. That they're the comedian class that sold out during cancel culture, and it's like they're not actual comedians willing to actually, comically speak the truth about
Right.
what is going on.
they're not like Dave Smiths of the world. Shut
Yeah,
up.
or just any other decent comedian.
Yeah.
Because it's like the job of comedy is to kind of almost be the gesture to the king, and your comedy has
Right.
to be somewhat rooted in the truth. And when it's not, one, it's gonna suck, but two, it's gonna come off completely disingenuous, and it's very, very clear that you have an agenda
Yeah.
and that you're a sellout. So I don't feel any sympathy for this guy. I'm not getting that hung up in the whole argument of does he have, is this a free speech issue or not? Is like this is just, a lying propagandist just playing his part in the story.
Yeah, and to your point, art is, be it comedy, be it like any kind of art you want to talk about, art is a reflection of the human condition. And when you're as disingenuous as these people are, when you're this focused on pushing propaganda, right? When you're this focused on just being fake, A, you're not going to have an audience, and these guys haven't. It's been slowly dying for years. But B, nobody gives two shits what you have to say or about your quote-unquote right to free speech. You're acting as an arm of the government. You're completely fake. You're not saying anything real. So why would you have any sympathy for this guy or anybody in this kind of position? You have sold out. All you're doing is virtue signaling at this point for the government. That's all you're doing. And it has been weird, though, I will say, to see like virtue signaling from the other side of the coin after all this stuff that's gone on the past couple of weeks. We're seeing virtue signaling from the other side of the aisle, and that's been interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who cares about Jimmy Kimmel? That's all I had to say on that. On to the next. What else do we have here? I'll never get tired of seeing Pam Bondi as an Oompa Loompa. Gosh. All right, so Trump made a very big announcement on, what was it, Tuesday night? When did this come out?
3
Tuesday?
days ago.
Okay, so
Monday.
Monday night. I think it was Monday night. In case anybody was not aware, Trump came out and said, your autistic kids are autistic because you took Tylenol during pregnancy. And this was allegedly backed by a bunch of studies that were funded by the Department of Health and Human Services. I think CMS, so the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services were involved. The National Institute of Health was involved. Again, allegedly, and they supposedly ran like 13 different studies on, or they're going to run 13 different studies on the effects of Tylenol on autism, and then they took a look at all the existing research out there about it, and supposedly this has been a thing for a long time, that Tylenol induces autism. But what struck me about this whole meeting is, if you rewind a little bit, John, if you look at RFK's face, oh my gosh, YouTube ads. That was a poop ad. That's perfect, given what we're about to watch.
For regular BMs, huh?
Yeah.
Historic steps to
RFK looks like he's about to do something wrong. He looks like a guy who is about to boldface lie to you. And historically, I've been kind of a fan of RFK, coming from like the holistic health community and that kind of thing, the Children's Defense Fund and all that. But he looks like a guy who does not like what he's about to have to say. Also, Mehmet Oz just looks like an absolute crook.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, that's Dr. Oz.
That's Dr. Oz?
Yeah. He
Holy
is
shit.
like the head of CMS now, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Yeah.
He's a real. Hold up. He's a real. Like, he's an actual doctor?
I don't know. We'll have to check that. I'm not sure.
I thought he was like.
I thought
one
he
of
had like
those,
a PhD in like PE or something,
Okay.
physical education.
Okay.
But I don't know. So we should check that before I start slamming him here in a second.
Okay.
So anyway, Trump comes out and says, "Hey guys, your kid's autism is autism rates have risen. They've risen a lot. He did speak to that, which is true. Autism rates used to be like 1 in 10,000, 1 in 20,000 or something crazy like that, and now they're as low as like 1 in 12, I think, according to him. And we talked about this the other night, whether or not some of those are like misdiagnosed cases or anything like that. Who knows? But autism has been on the rise for a long time, and they're suggesting it's Tylenol. Now, I'm not going to say Tylenol doesn't play a part in making your kid retarded, but he then went on to dismiss as much blame as he could from the V's, the jabs, the injections these kids are taking. And I will say, to his credit, during this time, our fearless leader, and this is actually on the other link, John, under that, our fearless leader provided, I think, probably one of the most eloquent quotes about the autism epidemic that I've heard. I don't know who his writers are, but they do appear to be very good. He said, and I quote, "Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen." And we're about to listen to the alleged leader of the free world and what he had to say. Wise words from President Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. But with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it. And if you can't live, if your fever is so bad, you have to take one because there's no alternative to that. Sadly, first question, what can you take instead? It's actually, there's not an alternative to that. And as you know, other of the medicines are absolutely proven bad. I mean, they've been proven bad with the aspirins and the Advils and others, right? And they've been proven bad. So I'd like
to quote President Trump, "Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen."
Just a little autism flare up. It's okay.
And
Everyone has them.
what he was saying there, to put that in context, he was talking about, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was the MMR jab, mumps, measles, and rubella, suggesting that if you take those, which is a trivalent, can I say the word? Can I say it?
Hey,
online?
We're on. This is not going to go censored on YouTube, so let's avoid it.
Okay. Which is a trivalent jab, which means you're getting 3 at once. He was saying if you take them separately, if you separate them out, which parents aren't told they have that option, for one, it's fine. It's fine. Only good can happen if you separate them out. Only good. But if you take them all together, it's bad. And that there is probably legitimately some truth to that. Taking all 3 at once more than likely does cause some damage. But during this whole press release, all they seem to do is try to shift the blame from all of the anti-V'ers out there, everything they've been saying for however long about how these are damaging their kids, these are causing autism, right? To Tylenol, of all things. And granted, most prescription medication is going to have an effect on your kid's health. You probably shouldn't take it while you're pregnant. But this idea that we're going to just wave a hand and pretend like none of that's happening is insane. And then he has the gall to come out here and say, which, to be fair, is true. They shouldn't have aluminum. They shouldn't have mercury. You're telling me you're going to pull all of that stuff out of these things that pharmaceutical companies have been making for decades? You're telling me you're going to pull that out next week? So that all these parents who were guilted into injecting their kids with God knows what are just going to not have to worry about it now? Is that what you're telling me? And then furthermore, he says he's not a fan of the mRNA, but guess what's still being pushed day in and day out on all the ads? You better get your corona jab. You want to be healthy, don't you? Health starts with a good immune system, and a good immune system starts with going to your pharmacy and talking to a nurse who can't fucking read, right? And then getting a jab from a doctor who spent too much time with his thumb up his ass in medical school to figure out what the fuck was going on with your nutrition, all right? That will make you healthy, John. If you want to take care of yourself, you best listen to them good people at Pfizer, because they will tell you exactly what you need to do to be healthy. You need to go get injected with some thimerosal, which is mercury. So this whole thing just seemed like a bunch of pageantry to move the blame from the thing to a thing that's probably not good, but for whatever reason, they're more okay with people avoiding, which I don't understand. I don't know that I'll ever understand the obsession with making sure that every single human being gets all these injections. I haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured it out. it can't be just the pharmaceutical companies making a fuck ton of money from these, because they do. They absolutely do, whether it's money coming from the government because your kid got jabbed because they were on Medicaid and they had to, because if you want to continue to get money from the government for your kid, you best get them those scheduled jabs, or whether it's from parents who are guilt-tripped into injecting their kids with heaven knows what in their doctor's office because that doctor is getting tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in kickbacks from keeping their kid on schedule. But it's got to be more than the money. I don't know if it's depopulation, right? Because that was a whole discussion during 2020, this idea that a lot of people were being sterilized by these mRNA vaccines. I don't know if it's fucking Nephilim DNA, like a lot of people like to say, in the truth community, like they're injecting us with Nephilim DNA. I don't know if it's during the whole mRNA stuff, there was that talk of, I think there's a chemical in one of the vaccines. Dang it. Sorry. In one of the jabs. And feel free to check me if I'm wrong. I think there's a chemical in one of them called luciferase. And the wild part is, to my knowledge, the chemical luciferase, when combined with another chemical, is like bioluminescent, which makes you wonder. There's that whole discussion about like a sign on the hand and the sign on the forehead, right? And this is one that makes me wonder. What's it say, John?
Luciferase is an enzyme that produces a bioluminescence light-emitting chemical reaction in which a substrate called luciferin is oxidized to produce light. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
Commonly found in organisms like fireflies and marine animals. It's used in scientific research as a reporter gene to study genetic processes, track molecules, and yada, yada, yada.
Okay, so look up and see if that's in the Corona jab. Because I'm pretty sure I remember it being in there.
The official AI claim is that it is not, but...
Oh, it was used in research, though, it looks like.
Yes.
So...
Screen for answer.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
This kind of reads like it wasn't, but it was.
Yeah, so they used it for the research, but they didn't put it in the drug. Allegedly. Now, not to sound like the wild conspiracy theory guy, but I'm pretty sure I remember discussions of this being on the ingredients list for a couple of the mRNA jabs. Again, I don't know. Maybe the internet's been scrubbed. Maybe I'm just remembering incorrectly. But I'm relatively certain that the discussion was this was in some of the mRNA jabs, and it is for sure used in that research. Now, why would it be called this? I don't know. Did some just fun-loving people get together one day and just have a couple of beers and say, hey, let's call this bioluminescent. Let's name this one after Satan. That's fun. Right? You know what's fun? Naming things after... Welcome to our town of Lucifer, where we like to name things after, the devil. The whole town's laid out in the form of a pitchfork.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like Lucifer means light bearer.
Right.
So this is apparently, has to deal with light. Apparently the first thing you think of about light is Lucifer. And we need to name our medical bullshit after Lucifer. Because that's the first thing you can think of when light comes into play.
Yeah.
It's Lucifer. It's like, what the hell, man?
That is outrageous. I don't know who needs more evidence that modern science is actually satanic, but there it is. Like, there's not much past that. I don't need much more proof than that. Just grab one of these Lucifer bulbs, John. My Lucifer bulbs went out this week. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like Robert made this point when we did that live stream with the Occult Rejects. He's like, these people are supposed to be all about, like, reason and logic and the scientific method, yet their entire industry is filled with bullshit like this.
Yeah.
Is all of this, like, pagan religious symbolism. It's all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So it makes any critical thinker wonder what these people are actually about and like where did all of this shit come from?
Yeah, well, I mean, the wild thing is, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the whole idea that this is all like rational, quote, science, unquote. I mean, how easy is it to just explain this away and say, oh, yeah, Dr. Charles Schifferobe was in his office one day and just happened to look over and see his Latin textbook letting him know that Lucifer means light bearer as he was coming across this bioluminescent compound. It's just as simple as that, John. Now, why do you get wrapped up in all these wild theories like the young people? It's so easy to get but when you actually think through this logically and rationally, right? What reason would scientists are supposed to be like super secular, right? Not religious at all, not spiritual. They're only, about the facts. They're about the science, the hard science. What reason would they have to name something after, like, the worst spiritual figure in Christianity? What reason would they have for that other than this is some kind of homage to something?
Right.
If you can think of another rational reason, please let me know. I can't think of one. I don't know too many friendly atheists who are like, you know what? You know what sounds like a fun thing to do? Let's legitimize everything I hate and name this after. I don't know too many people who want to do that. And so if this doesn't tell you that modern so-called science is some kind of sick, twisted, upside-down religion, I don't know what does. I don't know what does.
Yeah, and then you start getting into, well, what is the purpose of these things, beyond just letting the pharmaceutical companies make money?
Right. Oh, yeah,
Like,
I forgot that's where we started this
was
discussion.
Your original question, and it's like, maybe this is them telling you. You're starting to actually realize it's like where this is coming from, what they're trying to do, and what this shit is doing to you.
Yeah.
It's trying to pull you away from the natural order that the creator established and pull you into whatever order that this is.
Yeah.
That's the base level of it.
Yeah. And that goes hand in hand with like this whole, and I don't mean this to sound bad, but like this whole acceptance of autism, like we talked about the other night. This whole idea that like it's okay if you're completely socially inept. And I wonder, and this is a little far afield, but like I wonder if that's part of the purpose of trying to push as many of these on people as we have. Because if you can't look people in the eye, it's going to be kind of difficult to build healthy community. And if you can't build healthy community, it's a short trip into like nihilism and not giving a fuck, and all you do is drive for Uber and go home to your apartment because you're too sad to work for anything else, and you're never going to want to own a home because why would you? Because you can't look anybody in the eyes. You don't have any community. You don't have any friends, so you're not going to have them over to your house because you don't have friends, and even if you did, you live in a fucking apartment in the middle of a giant building, and all you do is drink and shoot up heroin all day, so why would you have people over there, right? And then guess how easy it is to radicalize this poor, shot-up son of a bitch, right? Who's sitting there on the street, and all of a sudden his MK Ultra savior just happens to show up. How much easier is it to radicalize people who can't look somebody in the eye than people with a family and friends that they give a fuck about? Answer, a lot easier. And I mean, that sounds dramatic, but it's a short trip from there to being, the Manchurian candidate everybody wants to talk about. I don't mean to throw out like fear porn, but that's exactly what this makes me think of. And especially in a society where, like, obviously the economy's tanking, the dollar is worthless. People are talking about, like, there's that whole popular video about how soon you're going to own nothing, but you're going to be happy about it. This is exactly where we're headed, and things like this make that even worse. So have community while you can, folks. Because the next round of jabs is coming, and you might not be able to look your kid in the eye. Happy Tuesday! Or Thursday, whatever day it is. All right, do we have anything on the... You said you had some stuff you wanted to talk about, actually.
Yeah, maybe on a lighter note. Let's see if I remember where it is. Jump into the Twitter folder. Let's see. All right.
Oh, yeah, Brigitte Macron.
So if you need any indication that society is, just the current social order is collapsing, Brigitte Macron is going to provide photographic evidence in a U.S. court proving that she is a woman.
I think this is a good idea. I think we need to have that on live TV. I think she needs to get up in front of the courtroom and show everybody her cock. I think that's what needs to happen. That's exactly what... I think this is a great idea, and I'm for it. I absolutely support this.
Yeah, I mean, it just... What I think of is, when Owen was talking about, like, the whole kind of goal of the Epstein thing was just to have people look at just horrific, degenerate shit.
It's fair.
This is probably what that is, because some sick bastard is going to file a Freedom of Information Act request immediately to try and get whatever the hell that she submits to the court to be like, let me see it. There are those sick people out there, and it's going to be all over the internet.
Whatever mangled excuse for a vagina they put a photo out there of. Yeah.
It's freaking ridiculous, and it's just like, what the hell is actually going on? Because it's like, if this is what is actually, like, if this is the headline news, it's like, fuck, we're screwed.
Tell me that photo, though, does not look like a dirty old man in a wig and makeup. That looks like Willem Dafoe to me in a wig. And Brigitte Macron is Willem Dafoe in a wig and makeup without a cock. That is who Brigitte Macron is. Tell me that looks like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I've never thought about that before, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
Shit.
In Boondock Saints, where Willem Dafoe shows up to the house dressed up as a prostitute, that's exactly what she looks like. Which is a great movie, by the way. Great movie. Love Boondock Saints. And this has been going on for so long. They've had this feud with Candace Owens. I think they might have tried to sue Tim Dillon for talking about it. But I mean, this is the logical end to that argument. Like, if you have a pussy and you're upset because people think you have a penis, then you show them your pussy. Tell me this. We've got Willem Dafoe here. Tell me that is not exactly what Brigitte Macron looks like. She looks like a man pretending to be a not so classy prostitute. I will be the person that files that Freedom of Information Act request because I'm going to see Willem Dafoe's cock.
No, please don't.
I won't. I'm not actually going to do that. But like, how has the world made it to this point where one of the most exciting things on the news is the wife of the Prime Minister of France's penis?
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. Yeah.
Riveting court TV.
Right. Like, how did we make it to this? We used to be worried about people jumping out of burning buildings for 9/11, and now we're worried about some chick with a dick. We used to care about things like Afghanistan, about murdering Arabics. We used to care about arguing about the gays. We used to care about things that matter, and now we're worried about Brigitte Macron's cock. God bless America. All right, what you got next, John?
Let me see. Trying to see if there was anything else that I threw in here.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Pause here. So, let's just imagine that everything about the Charlie Kirk situation was on. The up and up is not the right phrase to use, but was true the way the media told you. How ridiculous is it that you're sending his wife out on stage to pyrotechnics at his memorial? Like, just imagine from an honest to goodness, like, normie perspective, how fucked is it to have pyrotechnics at the memorial of a dead man who was allegedly, like, well, not who was obviously, like, meant a lot to all of the people here? How weird is that? It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. And, I mean, like, it's almost like a weirdly staged WWE event is kind of the way it looks. And, again, not trying to take away from Charlie Kirk or his legacy, but kind of weird that you've got pyrotechnics at what should otherwise be an aggressively somber occasion.
Right.
Explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just kind of evidence that they're just kind of telling you what's going on, just in subtle ways. That, you know, this is just kind of a stage. This is an event, and you're kind of watching actors. Because I haven't watched the whole thing.
It was long.
It was very, very long, but it all just seemed very, very strange to me.
Yeah, and
strange.
Trump's speech was weird. Trump's speech was real weird. And then you've got Erica there with the pyrotechnics, also weird. And then how about did you do we have the dang it, the video from like the 1980s? Do we have that
Video from 1980s.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
The Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
There it is, right
It's not
there.
a video, but
I mean, we don't have to. So, and then there's this whole like Nick Cage movie thing where I can't even remember what the occasion was. It was like some guy assassinates somebody named Charlie Kirk in the movie.
yeah, Charlie Kirkland.
Charlie Kirkland in the movie. Yeah. And the executioner, I think, is Tyler, which isn't that the name of that's the name of the suspect.
Right.
Like, what kind of weird predictive programming stuff is this? And it's in September, I know. I can't remember if it was on the
It's
10th in the
same
movie.
date. It's like it's right there. It's September 10th.
Okay,
It's
so
the same
on
date.
September 10th.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this stuff anymore because too many things like this happen for it to just be coincidence at this point. It seems like every couple of months, some other weird predictive programming thing runs across my feed.
Right.
And I mean, sure, there are a lot of movies out there. Maybe it is just a coincidence, but it's awfully weird that all these things just line up perfectly.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder like how it works. Like, was this just Charlie Kirk's fate from when he was just?
He wasn't even born when this came out. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think.
from like when he was born, was this set in stone for him?
Yeah.
Or is just like was he chosen because of this? Like,
Right.
I don't know. It just makes you wonder like how the hell like this all works and how it's all kind of connected.
Yeah.
But it to me it's very evident, and we've said it a lot, is like the whatever is orchestrating this is not human, right? Because it spans multiple lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it can't be human. So it's just like makes you wonder what's actually going on.
I mean, it's eerie, strange, creepy, scary, and like you said, completely inhuman. If this is anything like what all the truthers out there are saying it is, like that is truly terrifying that something has that level of foresight into what's going on. I mean, when did this movie come out? The 80s?
Yeah, I think
So
it was
years in the future, like decades later? Personally, I would love to believe that this is just a coincidence. I really would. I really would. It would make me sleep a lot better at night. A lot better at night. But I don't know, man. Too many of these like weird things cropping up for it to, yeah.
Yeah, and just you can notice he's making the exact same symbolism
As Musk
the
and Trump.
poses in the poster as
Yeah.
Musk and Trump were in their little conversation.
Right. Yeah, which I mean that photo's been everywhere with the
Yeah, Trump sits like that all the time.
he does. Well, I mean he's a tall man. He's got to stoop.
Still.
Nothing bad can happen, Elon. It can only good happen. But with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it. One of our most eloquent presidents to date.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk. We can maybe close like the Charlie Kirk talk on this. Have you seen this?
I don't know what that is. I have seen this. I don't
So-
know what that little box is.
The people are now starting to say that what killed Charlie Kirk was the lapel mic
Yeah.
on his, I think it was sitting on his like left shoulder or whatever. And if you remember a story a while back about Israel and pagers in Lebanon, where
Oh,
they were
shit.
able to blow up
Yeah.
a shitload of pagers to kill a bunch of alleged Hamas terrorists or whatever in Lebanon. It makes you wonder what if this has actually got some credence to it.
Is it supposed to be a
'Cause
picture of the mic?
I think that's what they're alleging. It's the picture of like his little lapel mic
Okay.
that he uses to like record himself for the video for like his
Okay.
production.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think that's what they're saying that is, and it makes you wonder like if that technology exists, is like
Yeah.
is that thing exploding what actually killed him? Because it's like, they're trying to claim that his neck stopped the 30-06 bullet. So it's like
Right.
their story's bullshit. So
Absolutely.
it's one of the more interesting theories that I've heard so far.
Yeah. No, I've seen those theories circulating around. I had no idea what that black thing was until just now. But yeah, I've heard those, and it makes sense. I mean, especially with I'm going to get into the bullet engraving business. It's obviously popping right now. If you want to get on the train while it's hot, folks, like they're having bullets engraved left and right. It's the new big thing. All right. Get in while you can, because this is popular as shit right now. What is with that? Everybody's engraving their bullets. Are they running a sale I wasn't aware of?
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like they're just
They found some more from whatever shooting was in like Texas or New York or somewhere. They found some
Yeah.
more engraved bullets.
yeah, and it's almost just like they're getting lazy in the script writing. Like that's what it just seems to me. Is like they're just getting completely fucking lazy. It's like now it's just like,
Right.
oh, we know what his motives are. He wrote it on the fucking bullet.
Some guy's
It's
drunk
like-
at the White House. Put it on the
It's
bullet.
like, why didn't they just pull this shit with JFK? It's like Lee Harvey Oswald wrote he was a communist on the bullet that he left in the book depository.
JFK's a fag.
You
Like
know?
what?
It seems like they're just not trying as much anymore. And it's like if you read like the fucking like text messages between this
Patsy. We can call him a
and
Patsy.
his, tranny whatever, is like it's like just some of the most like obvious fake shit you've ever read in your life. So it just seems like they're just not trying as hard anymore
Yeah.
to like keep these stories straight.
Again,
And-
obviously a tragedy, but yeah.
yeah. And so it's why I've been trying to like hone on the point. It's just like you gotta just kind of not pay attention to it, because it's like it's bullshit, and it's like it's very obviously bullshit. It's like I don't know how many people actually buy what they're saying. I mean
Yeah.
I've talked to quote unquote like normies about this, and all of them are kind of saying it's like, yeah, whatever the FBI is saying doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So it's like
They've
I
been
don't-
so plainly discredited over the past couple of years. What with all the Epstein stuff, with the Butler stuff, like nobody's all the documents they're raiding people's house for. Nobody thinks the FBI has any clue what's going on anymore. They just have more power than you. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
And it's just so how low effort it's gotten.
Yeah,
Like completely low effort.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
Like
Three drunk dudes at a bar could have done a better job with this story than whatever they're putting out about this kid who ran off into the woods with a disassembled 30-06. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
He had it in a towel. He had it in a towel. Like what? Oh, okay, sure. He had it in a towel.
Yeah.
He's just that stupid. I don't think anybody's that stupid.
Yeah.
Completely ridiculous. Give him a towel and some engraved bullets. Yeah, make him a faggot. They like the gays now. Make him gay. Like that can't be far off of what they did.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
A couple of drunk dudes planning this out.
Yeah, it's just like I said. It's like these are getting crazier. Like somehow this is like crazier than some dude climbing on a roof to shoot Trump in the ear almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten like that absurd, and it makes you wonder, like, where are we being shifted to? Because it's like they're taking a lot less effort into the propaganda that they put out.
Right.
So it's like something has to be coming off the end of this.
Yeah.
And I just don't know which or don't know what. So it's just like, pay attention, I guess.
I don't know. With all the, like, there's been a lot of free speech talk surrounding this, and it makes me wonder if that's their next target is some kind of, like, Patriot Act bullshit where they try to just claw away, at something surrounding that. I don't know what, but there's been so much talk around that. I wonder if this is a great distraction and a good way to get, like, it's a good way to get the advocates for things like free speech on your side if you attack one of theirs,
Mm-hmm.
That's my line of thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it were me, that might be what I would do. Super messed up. Do we have anything else in here before I just break down in tears thinking about this?
I don't. Bunch of this is some old stuff that we
Yeah.
can figure out, so I don't think so.
All right. Fair enough. Sorry to end on such a depressing note, folks. If you're having a bad day, just look up a picture of Pam Bondi and then an Oompa Loompa afterwards, or Brigitte Macron and Willem Dafoe. That honestly might be my favorite of the evening.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We need to make it. We need to make a little meme with them side by side. So yeah, look that up. Give yourself a little shot in the arm. You deserve a giggle. Don't take Tylenol, because it can only bad happen, or it can only good whatever. Yeah, check us out wherever podcasts are sold. Available on all the socials. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, all the places. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to support what we're doing here, because we're poor and we need YouTube Premium, please check out our Patreon. There will be more content coming there soon. Patreon-specific content sooner rather than later. I know we keep teasing it, but I promise it's coming. And we also have our PayPal linked if you don't care about getting something for your money and just want to give us cash. We will accept that.
Yeah, all that's in the link in the bio.
Excellent. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.